Ananda has consented to conduct this discussion on the red pill on behalf of the School of Life. So I hand you over to him. Please pay attention to what he is going to tell you.
Well, now, when I saw this, I thought it's a good starting point because I was curious about where I am, what is the role I am in. So I wanted to do a study of it. I have been doing, and maybe I can make use of the material. But the thing is, it's a very big thing, very vast. So I don't know whether you have gone through the first paragraph, two paragraphs and so on. Have you? So I assume that now, say certain things now, it is making some assumptions. And this thing says it is an ongoing attempt. So it should evolve. And the guy, of course, he is anticipating our ideas now, whoever is studying this thing. So he can be contacted and we can go for clarifications and we can criticize the thing and so on. So this is going to be a study, that is what I thought. So I suggested that now, since it is too big, the concepts are clear, we need to know the definitions and so many things are there. So rather than doing it myself, that is I want to study it, I thought maybe if there are other people who are interested, we can kind of explore it together so that new ideas can come, as well as we can put it to some use. I don't know what the use could be. So the immediate use is that we understand the thing, not just the words in it, we understand the world where we are in. So that this could be a very systematic doing it. It might save time or not. So, so when I suggested to Hitman that I want to participate in a study group, he said, why don't we starting? So that was the starting point. But when I look at, I thought of going through it and come here to tell you what it is. I mean, you know it, but what my ideas about it. But it's 2 hours, so I couldn't find where to start and so on. So what I feel is that now we need definition. There are some very new, not really new definitions. There are a whole lot of definitions about these philosophical things like native realism and so on, which are not very familiar. So maybe we have to go through them. So we need to have some way of tackling the thing. So I don't know exactly how it is, but maybe we start with, now he has some suggestions. So there is an overview, and it is an attempt to look at the world using some we can call it a systematic approach. So making use of systems, whatever they are. So then we have to study systems, what they are, and then maybe we can make use of the systems to gain the understanding. That is what he is saying, what he is discussing. It's not really his material here. I am saying his knowledge, but it's not his material. But he has amassed a whole lot of from so many different viewpoints, maybe from mathematics, from cybernetics, computer science, and so on, even biology. So I want to suggest that we separate some some separate time, if we are interested, some time, and we discuss how we are to tackle it. Like now we can do it in so many ways. Like we can make printouts, can read some of the stuff, and maybe if there is something we need to discuss, we can do it over here. Or maybe if there are facilities, we can have several terminals here. So we keep on attacking it. Wherever we choose, we attack it, and maybe we can kind of, I mean, things will come, right? So I think that ideas will come from the consciousness. We will be the outlets. So it will come out into some point here, not from you or not from me, but I think that is the way of handling it, rather than maybe we will have to refer to some text, maybe not. So today I want to we have to see how we are going to do it. What are the best ways of doing it if there are any best ways? And what are our real interests? Now, he might have some idea of what he wanted there, but maybe we might have other ideas. So, so I want to know what to now, like starting from which days we can meet if we are to do this, and then how we are really going to do this now. It would be like having say 3-4 terminals, and then once we meet for the first day, we will discuss what is our starting point out of the whole thing. That of course we can leave for that day, but today we can decide if we are going to do this, when to meet, and any other ideas which you might have. So basically that's it.
I think it would be a good idea if we were to start actually by identifying the objectives of the document in the first place. And then if you could also identify this, what you call the starting point, I think that would give the necessary impetus to taking the entire process forward. And so to begin with, I would like to hear what you think the objectives of this document actually are.
Well, is to study the world in a systematic manner. So it's a continuous study, that's what I think.
If we just got to go through this forward,
Right.
in a very simple way, what it says is that the subject matter covered in this body of work discusses ways of potentially coming to an understanding of the nature of the mind,
Yeah.
the way we relate to each other and the world, and the fundamental underlying nature of reality. Now, I think that is the core of this whole thing. Coming to an understanding of the nature of the mind, or maybe the nature of consciousness, I'm not sure, and the way we relate to each other and the world, and the fundamental underlying nature of reality. That is what I think is the objective of this document. That is what it says here. And
Nature of the mind, the way we relate to each other and the world.
I would also like to add something to the objective, because I also see in this document something of value in the fact that it seeks to put together a conceptual framework that will actually help us to communicate what we are talking about in a more systematic and in a more systematic way, and that may actually help us to bridge the gap between the dominant developmental paradigm and the unity paradigm that we are talking about. And this is also hinted at in this foreword, where it says something about providing a clear insight into newly developed tools that can be employed in order to holistically get a handle on the seemingly divergent scientific and mystical paradigms. So there is an attempt in this document to actually provide a meeting point or an interface where both these different paradigms can meet each other and lock and perhaps become integrated. And at a larger level, that would also imply then that we are actually looking at a point where we can transcend what we call science today. It's interesting because perhaps we would be able to stimulate or motivate and attempt to adopt methodologies which would currently be considered unscientific and unacceptable, but which may be necessary as we go forward to explore various aspects which have not as yet been seriously explored by science. Like this example I would give you, this whole question of consciousness. mind and how it functions.